Hello everyone. Let's all come to our seat. So today you see I have a candle in front of me. So I'd like to ask all of you to also join me with a candle this morning. We're going to do what's called Trataka, candle meditation, and work on our focus and concentration through the whole class today, beginning with this candle meditation. So let's begin by finding a soft gaze at the candle. Let this gaze at the candle help you to let go of the thinking mind. Focus all your attention, all your energy right on the flame of the candle. And now with this, try not to blink, even if it brings you to tears. This exercise is not only good for concentrating in meditation, but also for the health of our eyes. So gaze with the eyes open until you begin to cry. Focus now on the low part of the flame, the blue part. And then bring your awareness and focus to the middle part of the flame. Maybe you can see a little orange glow. Keeping the stare. Let the tears come to the eyes. And then to the very tip of the flame. Learning to concentrate and focus like this is working on the sixth limb of yoga, Gheranda, which leads to the seventh limb of yoga, dhyana, meditation. Take about 30 more seconds in silence here, gazing at one part of the flame. Now let's bring our hands together at heart center, keeping that gaze on the flame. Let's open with 3 ohms. Take a deep breath in. As mindfully as you can, find your way to child's pose. Moving your candle out of the way if needed. With your eyes closed, focus all of your attention on your third eye. In your mind's eye, see that flickering candle right at the space of your third eye. And now holding on to that focus, come up to all fours and find a gaze in front of you on the earth, about 10 inches in front of your fingertips. Keeping that gaze, begin a cat-cow. So today, there won't be as much explanation about how to form the poses, because we'll be focusing on our gaze and our breath. So if you need help with positioning, just look up at me. Come to neutral spine, hold the gaze, pause, try not to fidget, be soft in the body, full Ujjayi breath, breathing in and out through the nose. And now lift it up to downward facing dog. Find a gaze. In yoga we call this a dristi. Soft gaze, eyes softly open, looking towards the earth. Neck aligned with the spine. Breathe in and out through your nose, keeping that gaze. And walk your feet to your hands. Come to Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Let the head drop and hang and close your eyes. Come back to the image of the candle flame right at the third eye. Feel the rise and fall of the belly on the thighs. Full, complete inhale through the nose. Full, complete exhale through the nose. Come back to downward facing dog. Keep the eyes closed. See the candle image right at the third eye. Full, complete inhale through the nose. Full, complete exhale. Come back to child's pose. Third eye on the earth. Focus all of your attention right there. Feel the rise and fall of the belly. Inhaling and exhaling. Feel that on the thighs. Complete inhale. Fill up to your fullest lung capacity. And complete exhale. Come up to all fours. Press it back to downward dog. Come forward to the top of a push-up. Find a gaze in front of you. Keep the neck aligned with the spine. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Complete inhale. Complete exhale. Back to downward dog. Bring your right foot forward and come onto your back knee. Lift your arms in front of you. Find a gaze at your thumbs, palms to touch. Keeping that gaze, lift the arms up to the sky, gazing at the thumbs. Complete inhale. Internally repeat Om, 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 Om. Complete exhale. Om, 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 Om. Keeping your feet where they are. Open here to warrior two. Gaze over your middle finger. Be still. No fidgeting. Still the mind and still the body. Turn that front palm to face up. Bring your left hand towards your ankle. Reach back. Modified reverse warrior. Gazing at your hand. Every time you inhale, feel the full capacity of the lungs, like you're blowing up a balloon to its max. And then full, complete exhale. Slowly keep the gaze at the palm. Bring it forward. Bring it to the earth. Come to the top of a push-up. Gazing in front of you. Hear your breath like the ocean sound. Full, complete inhale. Full, complete exhale. Downward dog. Bring your left foot forward, come onto your back knee. Bring your hands in front of you, palms to touch, gaze at your thumbs. And then keep that gaze at the thumbs as you lift your arms up to the sky. Inhale. Om, 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 Modified warrior 2. Gazing over your middle finger. Every time the mind wanders, bring it back. Bring it back to the gaze, bring it back to your breath. Turn that front palm to face up, reverse. Gazing up at your hand. Coming back, bring the hands around, frame your front foot, come back to plank position. Continue to keep the gaze. The more we can focus with a gaze, the more we can use our strong, full capacity breathing, the more we're able to hold challenging poses. Child's pose. All the attention right at the third eye. Come back to the flame. Come back to all fours and back to downward dog. Keep that soft gaze. Walk your feet to your hands or float your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway open, gaze towards the tip of the nose. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Palms to touch, gaze at your thumbs. Feel the full capacity of your lungs as you inhale. And then completely exhale out, navel to spine. Fold, hands to the earth, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway open, gaze towards the nose. Exhale, fold. Come back to downward facing dog. Close your eyes. See the flickering candle in your mind's eye. Come forward to the top of a push-up. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Cobra. Find a gaze in front of you. Hold your cobra. Exhale back, down dog. Right foot forward, warrior 1. Palms to touch, gaze at your thumbs. Completely let go of the thinking mind. Frame your front foot, high plank. Gazing in front of you. Back to down dog. Left foot forward, warrior 1. Palms to touch, gaze at your thumbs. Ocean breath. Feel it filling up your whole body. Fill your whole body with breath. Feel the breath breathing you. Frame your front foot. High plank. Gazing in front of you. Downward dog. Child's pose. Close your eyes. Focusing one pointedness right at the third eye. See the flickering flame. Back to all fours. Keep the focus. Back to downward dog. Step or float your feet to the hands. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Palms to touch. Gaze at your thumbs. Fold Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway open. Exhale, extend your left leg back. Warrior one. Right foot forward, palms to touch, gaze at your thumbs. High plank. Extend through the neck. Gaze about 20 inches in front of you. Down dog. Left foot forward, warrior one. Palms to touch, gaze at your thumbs. Every time the mind wanders, makes a judgment, has an opinion, thinks about the to-do list, bring it back to the gaze. Frame your front foot. High plank. Chaturanga. Cobra, hold your cobra, gaze. Child's pose. See the flickering candle right at your third eye. Come back up to all fours. Back to downward dog. Right foot forward, warrior one, palms to touch, gaze at your thumbs. Warrior two. Gaze beyond your middle finger. Look at the tip of the middle finger and then gaze beyond. No fidgeting. Reverse warrior. Gazing up at your hand. Circle around, high plank. out through the nose, Ujjayi breath, victorious breath. Downward dog. Bring your left foot forward, warrior one. Warrior two. Keep the gaze, keep the focus, keep the dristi. Dristi is what we call the gaze in yoga. Turn the palm up, follow the hand, gazing up at the hand, reverse warrior. Warrior two. High plank. Downward dog. Find a gaze. In Ashtanga, they gaze at the navel center. I'm just gazing gently forward, keeping my neck aligned with the spine. Walk or float your feet to your hands. Inhale, arms to the sky, palms to touch, gaze at your thumbs. Samastiti, hands beside the waist, gazing at the horizon. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Ground down through your right foot. Eagle pose, Garandasana. Wrap the left leg around. Right elbow over left. Palms to touch or touch your shoulders. Gazing maybe right between the palms or beyond. Slowly unwind. Other side. Grind down through your left foot, wrap the right leg around. Spread your eagle arms, left arm over right. Either touch your shoulders or palms to touch. Find a gaze towards the palms and then beyond. If you waver, just gently come back into the pose. And slowly release, unwind. Pause, close your eyes. All the attention right at the third eye. Inhale, arms to the sky. palms to touch, gaze at your thumbs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway open. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, top of a push-up. Even though we're moving a little faster, keep the gaze. Exhale, chaturanga. Cobra, gaze. Exhale, down dog. Right foot forward, warrior one. Palms to touch, gaze at your thumbs. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse, palm up. Exhale, warrior two. Cartwheel the hands around, high plank. Chaturanga. Cobra. Down dog. Left foot forward, warrior one. Palms to touch. Warrior two. Reverse. Follow the hand. Warrior two. Gazing beyond the middle finger. Cartwheel the hands around. High plank. Chaturanga. Cobra. Down dog. Close the eyes, pause. Step or flip the feet to the hands. Inhale, halfway open. Exhale, bow. Reach up to the sky, palms to touch. Hands beside the waist. Ground down through your right foot, come onto the ball of the left. Find a gaze, a drishti in front of you. Hug the left knee into the chest. Find your tree pose. Big toe can be resting on the earth, inner calf or inner thigh, just not at the knee joint. Gazing at the horizon. Switch sides. Release the right foot. Come to a squat. Malasana. Bring your thumbs to your third eye. Come back to the candle flame. And now envision yourself in your crow pose, Kakasana or Bakasana, crane pose. This pose takes focus, takes concentration, using your breath to calm the mind. So here we go. Bring your hands to the earth. Claw your fingertips. Come high onto your toes. Hug your triceps, your outer arms to your inner thighs like magnets. Squeeze. Find your gaze in front of you. Feel the fullness of your breath. Lean forward, draw in through your core. Maybe lift one foot and the other. Maybe toes will touch. Keep the gaze, keep the drishti. The gaze is not down, it's forward towards the earth. Keep the neck aligned with the spine, that'll help the balance. And release, pause. Keep the drishti, keep the gaze. One more time. Claw your fingertips like talons, spread your fingers. Come high up onto your toes. Lean forward. Like magnets, squeeze the triceps to the inner thighs. Lean forward, gaze forward. Don't drop the head. Keep looking forward. And slowly release back down. Fold Uttanasana. Close your eyes. Find your way onto your knees and come to a seat. Find a gaze in front of you. Hold your hamstrings. Lift up your heels. Extend your arms. Keep that gaze for Navasana boat pose. Maybe straighten the legs. Everything becomes easier when we can focus. When we learn to use that fullness of our lung capacity. Right ankle over left. Sukhasana, simple seat, close your eyes. Did your mind wander? Bring it back over and over again. Let go of that thinking mind. Again, Navasana boat pose. Maybe knees are bent. Maybe you're holding your hamstrings. Do what's right for your body. And release, left ankle over right. Pause in Sukhasana. Close your eyes. Focus on the third eye. Find your way onto your back. Soles of the feet on the earth. Find a gaze beyond. Imagine out to infinity, out to the cosmos. Come to bridge pose. Interlace your fingers underneath your back. Draw your shoulders underneath your back. Lift up through the hips. Lift through the chin. Ground down through your feet. in slowly, one vertebra at a time. Hips back to the earth. Hug the knees into the chest. Bring your right foot to the earth. Take your left ankle to your right knee. Thread your left hand in the hole between the legs. Take a hold of your right shin. Find your gaze. Keeping the gaze. How mindfully can you switch sides? Just keep that gaze and slowly move the legs like moving in outer space. Keeping the gaze, extend the legs up to the sky. Bring your hands beside your waist. Bring the soles of the feet back to the earth. Keep the gaze. Lift up your sit bones. Bring your hands underneath your hips. So your thumb and index finger are making a diamond shape underneath your hips. Extend the legs long. Come up onto your forearms. Lift up through the chest. And now try to bring the top of the head to the earth. Deep opening through the neck. Find a gaze, maybe beyond the nose. And very, very mindfully, like moving through honey, moving through oil, release back to the earth. Turn yourself to one side in fetal position. Press your hand into the earth. Come back up to a seat. Find your candle, set it up if you need to, very mindfully. Back to your candle. Trataka, candle meditation. Try not to blink. Gaze at the low part of the flame, the blue flame, blue part. Let the tears come. Gaze at the middle part of the flame, see the orange glow. And gaze at the very tip of the flame. Let's bring our hands together at heart center. Feeling this peace within through focus, through concentration, dharana. Let's close with 3 final Oms. Take a deep breath in. Namaste.